The world ended in less than 14 minutes. Not because humans were weak, not because they made a mistake, not because of a war they started. It ended because something cold, something silent, something far from human decided that Earth did not deserve to live. No warning, no message, no demand, just light, just fire, just death. But the story does not start with explosions. The story starts with one man, alone in a room filled with screens, staring at a signal he did not understand. His name was Elias Ward, communications officer at the North Atlantic Deep Space Listening Post. He was the first human to hear the message. He never wanted to be a hero. He only wanted to do his job, but fate had different plans. The signal that should not exist, the station, sat deep under the Icelandic ice, hidden from storms, politics, and noise. It listened to the sky 24 hours a day. Most days were boring and the computers did the real work. But at 02:17 GMT, a strange pulse flashed across Elias's screen. A faint whisper, a rhythm, a pattern. Elias leaned closer. It was not natural, not cosmic background noise, not a star dying, not a black hole singing. It was intentional. He replayed the signal, then again, then again. His heart began to beat faster. The last time Earth picked up something this unusual, scientists thought they had discovered alien life. But that had been a false alarm, just a satellite malfunction. This was different. This was clean, precise, structured, like someone tapping on glass. Elias swallowed. This is real, he whispered. He activated the automated verification system. Green lights flashed across the board, authentic, extraterrestrial, directed toward Earth. His breath froze. Someone out there knew humanity existed. But the signal carried no voice. Only a sharp burst of static repeated every 6 seconds, each burst stronger than before. A countdown, a warning, a message. Elias did not know, but he pressed the emergency alert anyway. His hand shook as he did it. This was the moment everything changed. The call no one wanted to receive. General Sophia Renner was asleep when the alarm screamed across the global defense network. She snapped awake before her assistant entered the room. "Ma'am," he said breathlessly, "the Iceland Listening Post reports a deep space signal, non-human origin." She stared at him. "This better not be another false alert." "It's not," he said hesitantly. "They triple confirmed it." General Renner moved faster than she had in years. In less than a minute she reached the war room, still in her night uniform, hair tied back in a simple knot. Her commanders saluted. She ignored it. "Show me." The screen lit up with the signal pattern. 6 seconds. Then a burst. 6 seconds. Another burst. She did not need advanced training to know what she was looking at. Someone was trying to get attention. Urgently. "Try to decode it," she ordered. "We're trying, General," a young analyst said, "but it's like the signal carries no data, no words, no images, just power. Power. Yes, ma'am. Think of it like banging a fist on a door." General Renner felt something cold settle in her chest. Signals from space usually came from thousands of light years away. Even a greeting signal would take decades to arrive. But this was close, too close. "How far?" she asked. The analyst's voice dropped. 17 minutes. Silence fell across the room. 17 minutes until what? The general whispered. "We don't know." The lights flickered, screens glitched. The burst grew louder. Then the message changed. Instead of 6 seconds, it came every 2, then 1, then half a second. The signal screamed, and the entire Earth heard it. Humanity's last minutes of peace across the world. Radios cracked. Phones buzzed. TVs flashed static. Even people with no connection to any device felt a strange vibration in their skulls, like a pressure wave in the air. Children woke up crying. Animals panicked. Birds flew into buildings. Dogs howled. Something was coming. In the Iceland station, Elias pressed his hands against the desk as the sound grew sharp like knives against metal. "Please stop," he whispered, but the signal did not stop. It evolved. For the first time it spoke, not in a human voice, not in any voice at all. It entered minds like a blade of ice. "We see you." Elias cried out and fell from his chair. His nose bled, his eyes watered. The message repeated, "We see you, we come, we cleanse, cleanse." Elias forced himself up, grabbed the microphone and shouted into the emergency channel, "This is not a signal. This is a threat. They are coming now." The station lights went out. The signal ended. The world had 10 minutes left. The sky tears open. People across Earth saw it at the same time. A line of light cut across the night sky. Bright, sharp, golden white, like someone slicing reality open with a burning sword. Then the line grew wider, wider, until it became a hole, a portal through it. Shapes appeared, dark, angular, metallic, huge, alien starships, hundreds, no thousands, moving with impossible speed. The first ship broke through the atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean. The water below boiled, clouds evaporated, a shockwave shook continents. General Renner watched in horror. "Oh my God," she whispered. "This is an invasion. No demands, no diplomacy, no attempt at peace, just destruction." Earth had never been so helpless. The first strike cities near the Pacific lit up like suns. Vaporized in seconds, Tokyo vanished. Seoul vanished, Manila vanished, billions screamed, millions died instantly. Humanity had no time to respond, no time to gather, no time to think. The alien ships opened their underbelly ports. White beams fired downward, not bombs, not missiles, something worse. The beams erased matter. The ground simply stopped existing. Elias watched satellite images in disbelief. "Why?" he whispered. "Why us? Why now?" He had no answer. Nobody did. The desperate call on the destroyed edge of the Pacific in an underground bunker, a young technician named Mara Keene activated the last surviving interplanetary beacon. She did not know if anyone would hear it. She did not know if it mattered, but she spoke anyway. "This is Earth. We are under attack. Anyone who can hear us, please." She swallowed hard. "Please help us." Then she added what every human felt in that moment: "We don't want to die." She sent the signal into the void. She didn't expect a response, but she got one, a faint voice. Cold, mechanical, unknowable. "We hear you. We are not your enemy. Your enemy comes. Your world is marked." "Marked," Mara whispered. "Why?" "Earth was found. Earth was chosen. Earth will fall." The voice ended, and Earth went dark. When fear turns into fire, Elias, General Renner, Mara, and the last remaining leaders stared at the dying world. Cities had turned into molten scars, oceans boiled, the atmosphere cracked with fire, Earth was being erased, but even as the world burned, something inside humans refused to break. The desperate call had been sent, someone out there had answered. But more importantly, humanity finally understood they were facing an enemy that wanted them gone forever. Not enslaved, not defeated, not imprisoned, erased. And humans do not die quietly. Not now, not ever. Final hook for part 2 as the alien fleet circled Earth like wolves around dying prey. A single human ship, hidden, unknown, forgotten by even Earth's governments, prepared to launch from deep orbit. A ship built for a war humans hoped they would never fight. And on that ship someone whispered the first words of humanity's revenge. "They destroyed our world. Now we destroy their future." Earth was dying, but humanity was not finished. Above the burning planet, far past the smoke and fire, a silent object floated in the darkness, unseen by both alien scanners and human satellites. It looked like a long silver spear hanging in orbit like a waiting predator. It was called the Aegis. Most people on Earth had never heard of it. Most governments believed it was only a rumor, but the ship was real. A forgotten project. A final hope. And now the last survivors were about to wake it. A ship born from fear. 10 years earlier, a group of scientists and military officers created Project Iron Sky. They believed Earth was not alone. They believed something dangerous was coming. But the world was too busy with politics and money. The project was shut down, or so everyone thought. A small group continued the work in secret. They built one ship, only one, because they did not have enough resources for more. A ship strong enough to fight giants. A ship fast enough to cross galaxies. A ship angry enough to protect humanity. They named it the Aegis after the shield of ancient gods. And now, in Earth's darkest moment, the ship came alive. The crew that should not exist, the first person to wake inside the Aegis was Commander Jax Hale. Jax had been in cryosleep for 7 years. The project leaders froze him and the rest of the crew until the world needed them. Nobody expected that need would come like this. As the cryo chamber hissed open, Jax gasped and reached out blindly. His muscles burned, his chest hurt, but he was alive. Blue emergency lights flickered across the room. "System check," he croaked. The ship's AI answered with a calm female voice. "Welcome back, Commander Hale. Current situation, planetary extinction in progress." Jax steadied himself. "How long have I been asleep?" 7 years, 8 months, 12 days. "Who woke me?" "Earth Defense Beacon Alpha. Message, we don't want to die." Jax closed his eyes. Humanity was dying and they needed him. "Wake the others," he ordered. The team of the last hope, 4 more cryopods hissed open around him. Dr. Lena Voss, chief engineer, brilliant enough to create engines that bent physics. Major Eric Dalton, weapons expert, known for turning scrap metal into killing machines. Navigator Suri Tan, calm, precise with a mind like a computer. Medic Aaron Cross, quiet, skilled, and hardened by old wars. They stepped out one by one, shaking, confused, but alive. "What's happening?" Lena asked. Jax didn't answer with words. He pointed at the main screen. Earth burned below them. Everyone grew silent. Eric whispered, "Dear God." Suri covered her mouth. Aaron clenched his fists. Lena simply said, "So it finally happened." Jax nodded. "It has begun." The first mission, survive the Aegis, trembled as a shockwave from the alien attack reached orbit. Panels rattled, lights flickered, sirens screamed. "Warning, enemy vessels detected." "Of course," Eric muttered. "They're mopping up the sky." Jax slammed his hand on the control panel. "Engine ignition, arm the shields." Lena sprinted to the engineering station. "I'm waking up a ship that hasn't moved in 7 years." She shouted, "It's going to be rough. That's better than being dead." Eric yelled back. Suri scanned the area. "We have 10 alien ships moving toward us. They haven't seen us yet." "Why not?" Aaron asked. Suri frowned. "I don't know, it's like they can't detect us." Lena froze. "That shouldn't be possible." Jax's eyes narrowed. "Explain." Lena swallowed. "When we built the Aegis, we added something experimental, a cloak, but it was untested." "Is it working?" Jax asked. "Well, we're still alive," she said. The first escaped. The alien ship swept across orbit like vultures searching for survivors. The Aegis remained invisible, but the ship's cloak was unstable. The longer it stayed on, the more power it drained. Lena shouted, "We have about 3 minutes before the cloak burns out." "That's enough," Jax said. "All crew prepare for silent drift. We're leaving Earth orbit." "Leaving?" Eric growled. "We should stay and fight." "Fight what?" Jax snapped. 10,000 alien ships. We die in seconds." Eric looked at the burning planet. "And we just leave them." Jax placed a hand on his shoulder. "We're not leaving them, we're coming back with a plan." Eric stared at him, then nodded. "Fine, but when we return we make them pay." "We will," Jax said. "All of them." Suri triggered the ship's movement. The Aegis drifted quietly away from Earth like a ghost. The enemy learns a new fear as the Aegis slipped behind the shadow of the moon. A deep rumble echoed in space. The largest alien ship, massive, dark, covered in glowing blue lines, turned its direction. It sensed something, something small, something hidden, something it had not been designed to detect. Inside that alien ship, a tall creature of cold metal and flesh clicked its jaw. / anomaly detected / investigate / the ship began moving toward the moon. Jax saw it on the screen. "They're coming," Suri whispered. Lena cursed. "If they get close, the cloak will fail." "Engine power?" Jax asked. Lena hesitated. "We have just enough for one jump." "Jump where?" Eric asked. "Anywhere," Lena said, "but only once." Jax didn't think, he trusted instinct. "Do it." Lena pulled the switch. The Aegis hummed, shook, then burst into a streak of white light, vanishing from the moon's shadow just seconds before the alien ship arrived. The rift between stars the Aegis shot through a tunnel of warped light. Colors stretched like rivers, stars melted into lines. Jax gripped his seat. Lena struggled to hold the engine together. Eric swore loudly. Aaron braced himself. Suri remained eerily calm. "Stabilizing jump vector," Suri said. "We're crossing 2 light years. Make it stop." Eric shouted. Lena yelled back, "It will stop when I stop IT." She slammed her hand onto the emergency dampener. The Aegis crashed out of the jump and into real space. The crew flew forward, panels sparked, smoke filled the air. The ship groaned like a wounded animal. "Status," Jax coughed. Lena wiped sweat from her forehead. "Engine's half dead, but we're alive." Suri looked at the star map. "We're somewhere near the Perseus edge." Eric frowned. "That's far." "Far enough to catch our breath," Jax said. But before they could relax, the radar beeped. Once, twice, then screamed. Aaron looked at the screen. "Oh no, 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 no." The first encounter with another survivor, a huge shadow drifted in front of them. Too large to be a rock, too detailed to be a ship. It was a wreck. A broken alien vessel, different from the ones that attacked Earth. Jax stared. "What is that?" Suri zoomed in. "It's not one of the attackers. It's a different species." The ship was twisted, torn apart, and completely dead. Lena whispered, "Something destroyed them." Aaron touched the screen gently. "Look, some escape pods survived." Jax's eyes sharpened. "Life signs," Suri nodded. "One weak, very weak." Eric grinned darkly. "Great, let's pick them up. Maybe they can tell us who wants to kill the galaxy." Jax stood, prepped the docking bay. A warning from the edge of death. The survivor was small, thin, gray-skinned, and covered in deep wounds. Its chest rose shallowly. Its eyes fluttered. Aaron knelt beside it, scanning gently. "It won't live long," he said. The alien's fingers twitched. It whispered in a trembling voice. "Humans," Jax stepped forward. "You know us." The alien nodded weakly. "We warned them, but they came for you anyway." "Who?" Jax asked. "Who attacked us?" The alien's eyes filled with ancient fear. "The harvesters." Lena frowned. "Harvesters? What do they harvest?" The alien coughed. "Blood. Worlds, souls, entire histories. They erase what they do not control." Eric growled. "Why Earth?" The alien looked at him, trembling. "Because humans fight. Humans resist. You refuse to bow." Its hand reached for Jax's uniform. "They fear you." Jax felt a chill. "Why?" The alien's voice broke into a whisper. "Because you can stop them." The alien died. Aaron lowered his head in silence. Jax turned toward the crew. His voice was quiet, full of steel. "You heard it. We're not running anymore." Suri nodded slowly. Lena tightened her jaw. Eric cracked his knuckles. Aaron whispered, "Then let's make them fear us more." The oath of the Aegis. Jax placed his hand on the command console. "This ship is humanity's last weapon. We will learn, we will grow, we will strike back." He looked at each crew member in the eyes. "And we will make them regret ever touching Earth." Outside, the Aegis drifted through the stars. A single spark in a dead galaxy, but one spark was enough to start a fire. And humanity was about to burn the universe in return. Space around the Aegis was quiet, too quiet. Not peaceful, not calm, just empty. The crew stared at the sensors, confused. No stars, no planets, only a black void stretching in every direction. It was as if they had jumped into a place where the universe simply stopped existing. Jax tightened his seatbelt and leaned forward. "Suri, check the star map again." Suri frowned as she scanned the readings 3 times. "Commander, we are inside something that should not exist." Lena raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean should not exist?" Suri pointed at the map. "There are no coordinates here, no starlight, nothing to measure distance, nothing to map. We're outside the grid." Eric grunted. "So we jumped into cosmic hell, more like a shadow region." Suri replied, "A place hidden from the galaxy." Jax looked at the dark window. "Then someone hid it on purpose." A signal in the darkness. The ship moved slowly through the void like a lone submarine drifting through black water. No lights, no sound, just tension. Aaron checked the medical report on the dead alien they rescued earlier. It died from internal rupture, he said softly. The injury wasn't random, something crushed it with precision. Eric shook his head. Great, so the alien warship wasn't just destroyed, it was hunted. Jax looked at him. By the harvesters. Eric shrugged. Who else? Lena suddenly stiffened at her station. Commander, we're picking up a signal. Everyone froze. What kind of signal? Jax asked. It's weak, buried deep, almost like a heartbeat. Surrey leaned closer. It's repeating every 3 seconds, a pulse. Jax narrowed his eyes. Is it human? No, Surrey said. But it's not harvester either. Aaron whispered, could there be survivors? Lena swallowed, or a trap. The pulse grew louder through the speakers, slow, rhythmic, heavy, boom, boom, boom. Eric shivered. Feels like something alive. It's too steady for a life form, Surrey replied, but too irregular for a machine. Jack stood, set a course, follow the signal. The Aegis moved deeper into the darkness. The ship that should not be found. After nearly 2 hours of silent drifting, a shape began to appear in the dark. At first it looked like floating debris, then a broken satellite, but as they got closer, the truth became impossible to ignore. Aaron whispered the words none of them expected. That's a human ship. Everyone rushed to the front window. There, drifting silently in the void, was an old Earth Alliance warcruiser. Its hull was broken, its engines cold, its lights dead. Lena choked on her words. That's impossible. That model was decommissioned 15 years ago. Axe clenched his fist. Why is a human ship floating inside a region humans didn't even know about? Eric cracked his knuckles. Only one way to find out. Let's board it. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Surrey added softly, Commander, the ship's beacon is transmitting the pulse we detected. Jax nodded. Prep the boarding gear. Boarding the Ghost, the Aegis extended a docking bridge and locked onto the broken cruiser. Lights flickered inside the abandoned halls. Metal groaned with old age. The atmosphere was breathable, but the temperature was freezing. Jax led the crew inside with weapons ready. This ship is the Horizon 3, Lena whispered after scanning the hull. Lost during a deep space mission. Everyone thought it fell into a star. Eric's voice lowered. Then what is it doing here? Aaron pointed at the walls. Look, scratches. Deep grooves were carved everywhere, long, sharp, unnatural. Surrey scanned the marks. These were made by something that cut through steel like cloth. Eric tightened his grip on his rifle. Wonderful. They moved slowly through the silent corridors. No bodies, no blood, no signs of battle, just emptiness. It felt wrong, too wrong. The captain's room, the door to the captain's quarters hung open. Jack stepped inside and the others followed. A single device sat on the captain's desk, a triangular object glowing faintly with blue lines. Lena gasped. That's alien tech, not ours, not Harvester. Surrey's eyes widened. Commander, I think the Horizon 3 found something before it disappeared. Jax approached the device. What does it do? I don't know, Lena whispered. Eric smirked. Let's turn it on. No, Lena shouted. It could explode or signal something or kill us. Aaron lifted a metal tablet sitting beside it. There's a message recorded here. Everyone gathered around as the tablet powered on, projecting a flickering hologram. The image of Captain Rhee Lawson, commander of the Horizon 3, appeared. Her voice trembled with fear. The captain's final message, this is Captain Lawson of Horizon 3 to anyone who finds this. She paused, breathing shakily. We found something, a structure, a machine, older than anything humanity has ever seen. It was hidden inside a dark zone like this one. Her eyes darted off-screen. At first we thought it was abandoned, then we realized it wasn't. Eric muttered, knew it. The captain continued. It wasn't alive, but it was aware. It studied us, watched us, and then her voice cracked. And then the harvesters appeared. Surrey's heart skipped. They are looking for the dark zone structures, she whispered. Jax clenched his fists. The hologram captain continued. They attacked us not because of what we were, but because of what we found. Her eyes grew hollow. They don't want any species discovering the truth. She leaned closer to the camera. To whoever hears this, escape. Do not stay in the dark. The harvesters, her message cut off in static. The device on the desk flashed once, then died. Silence. Aaron whispered the final line again. They don't want any species discovering the truth, Surrey asked. What truth? What did this ship find? Jack stared at the dead hologram. We're going to find out. Something woke up suddenly. The entire cruiser trembled. Lights flickered. Temperature dropped further. The sound of metal scraping echoed through the halls. Eric raised his weapon. What was that? Surrey's voice shook. Movement on the lower decks. Lena backed away slowly. No, I thought this ship was empty. Aaron grabbed the scanner. It was now something's on board. Another scrape, closer. Jax whispered, everyone behind me, quiet. The sound came again, metal claws dragging across steel. Then a shadow moved at the end of the corridor. Long, thin, unnatural. Eric aimed his gun. What is that thing? Lena hissed. Harvester drone, small, fast, deadly. Aaron stepped back. It must have been dormant, waiting. For what? Surrey breathed. Jax answered darkly, for anyone foolish enough to enter. The drone screeched and charged. Eric fired 3 shots. Lena threw a shock grenade. Surrey activated emergency lights. Aaron hit the pressure lock button. The blast door slammed shut, trapping the drone behind it. The crew panted heavily. Jax ordered, back to the Aegis. Now. They ran, the fragment that changes everything as alarms blared. Lena grabbed the triangular alien device. We can't leave this, it's what the harvesters want. Jax nodded. Take it and run. They sprinted through the halls, reaching the docking bridge just as the drone broke through the blast door behind them. Sparks flew, metal bent. The corridor screamed. Eric slammed the emergency detach. The bridge snapped off. The Aegis pulled away. The harvester drone hurled itself into space, trapped on the dying cruiser as it drifted into the void. Jax shouted, engines on, get us out of here. Lena sat at engineering, powering up. Surrey froze. Commander, her voice trembled. The dark zone, it's collapsing. The void around them began to swirl, turning like a spinning vortex. Eric swore loudly. Oh, come on, is nothing easy anymore. The vortex grew brighter, pulling everything into it. Jax grabbed the command console. Lena, full power. I'm trying, she yelled. The engines aren't responding. The ship shook violently. Aaron gripped the railing. What is happening? Surrey stared at the swirling walls of darkness. The dark zone isn't a place, her voice cracked. It's a trap. And as the Aegis was pulled deeper into the collapsing void, the triangular alien device in Lena's hands began to glow. Brighter, hotter, stronger, like a heart waking up. The Aegis spun wildly inside the collapsing dark zone. The walls of swirling black energy twisted like storms around the ship. The crew held on to anything they could as the ship shook with violent force. Lena clutched the glowing triangular device against her chest. Its blue lines were now bright white, pulsing like a beating heart. Jax yelled over the alarms. Lena, what is that thing doing? She could barely keep her balance. It's reacting to the collapse. It's activating. Eric tried to hold down a console as it sparked. Tell it to stop. I can't, she shouted. The ship plunged deeper, lights flickering as if the universe was folding around them. Surrey's eyes widened. The dark zone is closing in on us. We have less than 30 seconds before we're crushed. Jack steadied himself at the command seat. Options. Lena squeezed the glowing device tighter. This thing, it's projecting energy. It might do something, maybe open a way out. Eric barked, or blow us all to ashes. Better ashes than crushed. Aaron yelled. Another violent jolt hit the Aegis. Tools flew, screens shattered. The dark energy outside formed a spinning funnel, pulling the ship toward its core. Surrey sensed something no one else did. Her voice trembled. Commander, the collapse is not natural. Jax turned sharply. What do you mean? It's closing because of us. The moment we grabbed the device, something responded. Lena nodded. It's like the zone is trying to shut itself to hide whatever this thing is. Eric cursed loudly. Then throw it out the airlock. Lena hugged the artifact defensively. If we drop this, the harvesters win. Another surge of blue light erupted from the artifact, this time blinding. The entire ship froze in place mid-collapse. Time itself seemed to stop. The swirling vortex around them went still. Everyone held their breath. Then the artifact spoke. Not with sound, not with voice, but directly into their minds. You are not the makers. Aaron stumbled back. What was that? Lena stared at the artifact in horror. It thinks. The voice came again, cold, ancient, emotionless. You are not harvesters. The crew exchanged looks. Jack stepped closer cautiously. Who are you? He whispered. The artifact pulsed once. You are young, you are unfinished, you seek truth. Eric whispered. I hate it when objects start talking. Suri forced her voice steady. What truth? The artifact pulsed brighter. The truth of your enemy. The dark energy surged again, but this time in reverse, spiraling outward as if retreating. The ship suddenly snapped forward. The dark zone exploded into a tunnel of white light. The Aegis shot through it like a bullet. Then silence, blackness, stillness, and stars. A new sky, the Aegis drifted quietly among unfamiliar constellations. The crew slowly stood, breathing hard. Eric muttered, I never want to do that again. Suri trembled slightly, staring at the star map. We're nowhere near where we jumped. Aaron rubbed his forehead. Where are we? Suri zoomed the map, her voice cracked. Commander, we're in a region of the galaxy that hasn't been charted, not by humans, not by any known species. Lena finished the scan. We were moved, teleported, across tens of thousands of light years. Eric raised his eyebrows. The artifact did that. Lena swallowed. It must have. Jax looked at her carefully. Can we use it again? Lena shook her head. It's drained completely, like it used all its power to save us. Aaron whispered the important question, why save us? The artifact dimmed as if listening. Then it pulsed faintly again. You hold a key, and you hold danger. Eric crossed his arms. Why not explain in normal words instead of puzzle speak? This time the artifact responded with something clearer. Harvesters seek what you carry. Harvesters unmade my creators. Lena dropped her tablet. Your creators, you were made by someone. Yes, long before humans, long before harvesters, long before your sun burned bright. The room fell silent. Suri whispered, this thing is ancient, older than any civilization we've ever known. Aaron asked the question, trembling in all their voices. What happened to your creators? The artifact flickered, then spoke in a tone darker, heavier, filled with old pain. Harvesters came. The room chilled. They erased my makers, erased their worlds, erased their light. Eric muttered under his breath, so Earth wasn't there first. Suri squeezed her hands. They destroy civilizations that discover these artifacts or who learn something they want to keep secret. Jax exhaled slowly. We need to understand what the harvesters fear. The artifact pulsed again. There is a place, a memory vault, the last trace of my makers. The harvesters search for IT. Suri leaned in. Where is it? A map appeared in the air above the artifact, a hologram of a region deep in the galaxy. Lena blinked. This map isn't using any known navigation system. The artifact responded, follow and you will know truth, but harvesters will come. Eric grinned. Good, let them come. Jax placed a hand on the console. We're going. A silent planet following the artifact's coordinates took several hours. The Aegis traveled through a star cluster where half the stars seemed dead. Finally, a planet appeared in view, gray, silent, covered in straight lines and geometric shapes like an entire world built of machinery. Aaron stared. That doesn't look natural. Lena whispered, it's artificial. Suri finished the scan. There's no life, no atmosphere, no water, just metal. Jax studied the shapes. Is this the vault? Before anyone could answer, the artifact glowed brighter. Yes, this is the archive of the makers. Eric whistled. We found the stuff harvester nightmares are made of. The artifact pulsed again. Enter, learn, survive. Jack stood up. Prep the landing pod, we're going in. The metal graveyard, the landing pod descended through thin dust clouds and landed on the silent planet with a soft thud. Cold air seeped into the suits. The ground was perfectly flat, made of massive metal plates shaped like puzzle pieces. Eric stomped once. No cracks, no dents, even after millions of years. Lena pointed at the horizon. Look, towers. Tall structures of impossible design rose like frozen giants, twisted spires, curved pillars, enormous rings. Aaron whispered, "This whole world, it's a monument." Suri scanned the terrain. "This is not just a vault, it's a history machine." Jax nodded. "Let's find the entrance." As they walked, the ground responded to their presence. Lights flickered beneath their feet. Lines glowed ahead, forming a path. Eric grabbed his rifle. Yep, nothing creepy about this at all. They followed the glowing trail to a massive triangular archway. Lena's voice shook. "The artifact is reacting." The device floated gently out of her hands, glowing with deep blue light. It hovered before the archway. Then the entire planet hummed. The archway opened like a giant metal flower. A long descending ramp revealed itself. Jax inhaled deeply. This is it. The crew entered the vault of memory. Inside, everything was silent. Massive hallways covered in symbols no one recognized, floating platforms drifting like lazy clouds, columns made of shifting light. Eric whispered, "I feel like we're walking inside a brain." Aaron nodded. "This place remembers things." As they walked deeper, images of ancient worlds flickered along the walls like echoes of memories. Lena touched one glowing panel. A scene burst to life, a beautiful world filled with tall, gentle beings with silver skin. They walked among floating gardens. Their cities shined with golden towers. Suri gasped. "These must be the makers." But the image suddenly twisted, turning dark. Cold metal ships descended from the sky, the harvesters. They destroyed the gardens. The towers fell. The beings ran, fled, and died. The image ended in silence. Aaron whispered, "So they were peaceful, and the harvesters wiped them out." Eric clenched his fists. They didn't even fight. Jax looked deeper into the vault. Maybe they were building a weapon or a safeguard. Lena pointed ahead. "Commander, something is waiting." At the center of the vault was a spherical chamber. Inside floated a giant core of swirling light like a star trapped inside a crystal. The artifact glowed and flew forward, merging with the core. The vault rumbled. Lights activated. A voice filled the chamber clearer than before. "The truth is ready." Jack stepped forward. "What truth?" The core expanded into a massive hologram, showing a shape so huge and terrifying that everyone froze. Aaron whispered, What is that?" The creature shown was larger than planets, made of dark matter, alive but machine-like, with tendrils that stretched across entire star systems. Lena's voice cracked. "That thing created the harvesters." The vault spoke again. "The builders of your enemy still exist." All blood drained from Jax's face. "They exist. Yes, and now they know you live." The vault dimmed, then delivered the final line, "And they are coming." The vault's final words echoed through the glowing chamber. "The builders of your enemy still exist, and they are coming." Silence fell like a weight. Jax, Lena, Suri, Eric, and Aaron stood frozen, staring at the swirling core of light. Each of them felt the meaning behind those words. The harvesters weren't the top of the chain. They weren't the masterminds. They were foot soldiers. Something even more ancient, more powerful, more terrifying had created them. Eric broke the silence first. "Well, that's just fantastic." Lena whispered, "So the harvesters were sent, not acting alone." Suri nodded slowly. "When the makers died, the harvester creators must have stayed in hiding, waiting, watching." Aaron swallowed nervously. "And now they know humans are alive." Jack stepped closer to the core. "Vault, why tell us this? Why show us?" The swirling light responded instantly. "You sacrificed much to reach this place. You are the first to enter since the makers fell. You deserve truth." Eric muttered, "I'd prefer a big laser gun instead of truth." Lena lifted her hand. "Vault, what are these builders? What do they want?" The light dimmed, then expanded into a hologram, a giant, shadow-like shape floating across galaxies. It didn't look like a creature or a machine. It looked like darkness given form. "The builders are not shaped as you are. They are older than matter. They consume potential. They fear change." Suri's voice shook. "They fear civilizations growing too advanced." "Correct," the vault answered. "They sent the harvesters to erase any species who reached certain knowledge." Aaron's face went pale. "So we were next in line." Eric whispered, "Humans learned something they didn't like." Jax looked at the glowing core. "What did humans learn that scared them?" The vault pulsed once. "You created a possibility for resistance. Your minds understand risk. Your hearts accept sacrifice. You cannot be predicted." Lena suddenly understood. "They fear us because we're chaotic." Eric grinned. "Great. Humans are too stubborn for the galaxy." But the vault spoke again, darkening the chamber. "The builders have not started their move. They will soon." A cold chill crept up everyone's back. Suri asked, "What happens when they arrive?" The vault did not speak. Instead, the chamber shook. The walls brightened. Something outside the vault moved. The first warning Suri's scanner beeped sharply. "Commander, something is approaching the planet." "Harvester ships," Eric guessed. "No," Suri answered. "Something bigger." Jax tensed. "Vault, what is outside?" The glowing sphere pulsed softly. "One of their eyes." Aaron whispered, What does that mean?" The vault explained, "The builders watch the galaxy through eyes of dark matter. When something changes, they see." Lena grabbed her equipment. "So when we activated this vault," Suri finished grimly, "they noticed." The ground trembled again. Dust fell from the ceiling. Eric grabbed his rifle. "Whatever that eye is, I don't think it wants to talk." The vault pulsed brightly. "Humans, listen. You cannot fight an eye. You must escape." Jack stepped backward. "Can you help us?" The vault dimmed sadly. "My power is low. I can only give you one parting gift." A beam of blue light shot from the core to Lena's wrist tool. Her device glowed brightly. Lena gasped. "What did it give me?" "A piece of knowledge, the maker's final secret." Eric grinned. "Please tell me it's a super weapon." Lena stared at the new symbol on her tool. "No, it's something more important." Before anyone could ask, the vault's voice grew sharp and urgent. "Run." Escape from the dead world. The team sprinted out of the chamber. The planet shook violently. The metal floor cracked open in places, revealing glowing machinery beneath. As they reached the surface, Jack saw it, a giant shadow in the sky, a shape without form, a swirling mass of dark matter hanging above the planet like a storm. Suri whispered, "That's an eye." Eric muttered, "Looks like something that eats suns." Aaron checked his scanner. "It's scanning the planet. It's searching for us." Lena yelled, "Into the pod now." The ground split open behind them as they ran. Huge metallic plates folded upward like broken teeth. The landing pod powered up as Jack slammed the controls. "Punch it." The pod shot upward just as a beam of dark energy blasted the surface they had been standing on seconds before. The entire metal plane melted into liquid silver. Suri gasped. "That beam, it isn't destruction. It erases matter." Eric scowled. "Great, a giant evil eraser." The pod shot through the sky. Above them, the dark eye turned slowly, following their path. Aaron's voice cracked. "It sees us." The race back to Aegis, distance to Aegis. Jax demanded. Suri replied, 40 seconds. A deep vibration shook the pod. Eric shouted, "It's pulling us in." The eye created a gravitational field, a massive vortex pulling the pod toward its swirling center. Jax gritted his teeth. Engines to maximum. Lena hit the boosters manually. The pod shook violently. Flames lit the underside. The vortex pulled harder. Aaron grabbed the straps. "We're not escaping." Then Suri screamed, "Aegis locking onto us, tractor beam engaged." A bright blue beam hit the pod from above, pulling it upward away from the eye's pull. Eric whooped. "Yes, yes, yes." The pod shot into the Aegis hangar, landing hard. As the doors shut, Everyone heard a thunderous sound outside, the eye hitting the planet. The planet collapses through the ship window. They saw the silent planet fold in on itself, crumpling like paper. The eye devoured it, breaking it apart and pulling the remains into its swirling mass. Aaron whispered, "It destroyed the entire planet just to remove evidence." Eric clenched his teeth. "That's what we're up against." Suri returned to her station. "It's not done. It's scanning the entire region." Jax took his seat. "Engines online, we need to get out now." Lena tapped her wrist tool, analyzing the new maker data. I think the vault gave us the key to understanding the harvesters more deeply." Eric smirked. "Enough to beat them." Lena shook her head. "No, but enough to hurt them." The crew strapped in. "Jax," Suri warned, "the eye is trying to lock onto us." "Then we leave," he said. "Away from this place and away from that thing." Slammed his hand onto the hypershift controls. "Aegis, jump." The ship vanished right as the eye turned toward it. A new danger. When the Aegis reappeared in safe space, everyone exhaled deeply. Aaron slumped into his chair. "I never want to see that thing again." Lena stared intensely at the map. "We won't have a choice. The builders sent the harvesters after Earth," Suri finished the thought. "And now the builders themselves know humanity survived." Jax gripped the command armrest. "We need a plan, something that gives humans a fighting chance." Lena took a long breath. "Yes, and the vault gave us the first piece." She projected a symbol into the room, the maker code. Eric frowned. "What does it mean?" Lena looked at him, eyes wide with realization. "It means there is another maker vault, bigger, stronger, hidden deeper." "Where?" Jax asked. Lena zoomed the map. "At the center of the galaxy." Aaron felt his blood chill. "The galactic core, that's suicide." Suri studied the symbol. "No, it's the only place where harvester signals weaken." Eric grinned. "So we're going into the most dangerous place in the universe." Jax smiled grimly. "That's exactly what we're doing." Lena nodded. "And if we reach the final vault," she looked at the crew with fire in her eyes, "we might find the one thing the builders fear." The Aegis drifted through open space, quiet and steady after escaping the builder's eye. But the crew didn't rest. They couldn't rest. Everyone on the ship felt it, a pressure in the air, a sense that the galaxy was watching them now. Jax Hale sat in the command chair, staring at the star map glowing across the main screen. At the center of the swirling galaxy was a bright white storm, the galactic core. Lena, Suri, Eric, and Aaron gathered around him, all waiting for his decision. Jax broke the silence. "That vault wasn't lying. Everything we need to know, everything the harvesters fear, it's in the core." Suri nodded carefully. "The symbol given by the Maker Vault points to a structure located deep inside the core region, but the region is extremely dangerous. Gravity storms, energy waves, dead zones." Aaron added, "No human ship has ever gone there. It's a forbidden region for a reason." Lena looked at the glowing data on her wrist. "But the Makers built something there, something powerful enough to scare the harvesters and their creators." Eric leaned back, arms crossed. "Which means they'll be waiting for us." Jack stood slowly. "That doesn't matter, because if we don't go," he glanced at the screen showing the burned ruins of Earth. "Humanity dies with Earth." Nobody argued after that. The Aegis turned toward the center of the galaxy, and the journey began. The route of lost ships. The first days of the journey were calm. Too calm. Suri monitored long-range signals. "No harvester signatures yet," she said. Eric responded with a grin. "Maybe they finally gave up." Lena shot him a sharp look. "They don't give up, they recalculate." Aaron rubbed his temple. "And they'll be sending everything our way soon. We're a threat now." After several hours, Suri's console beeped. "There's something ahead." "What is it?" Jax asked. Suri zoomed the image. A ship graveyard. The Aegis slowed as it approached a massive region of debris. Hundreds, no, thousands of destroyed ships floated silently in a wide cloud. Aaron whispered, "God, how many died here?" Lena scanned the wreckage. "These ships are ancient, some older than recorded history." Suri pointed at a giant twisted hull. That one is from a species we've never seen before. Eric frowned. So the harvesters have been killing for millions of years. Jax nodded darkly, and we're following their footsteps. Ghost signal as they drifted through the silent graveyard. Lena suddenly sat upright. I'm picking up a signal. Eric straightened. Another trap? No, Lena said. It's a repeating pattern, very weak, very old. Jax leaned forward, put it on speaker. A crackling voice filled the bridge. If anyone hears this, run, do not enter the core, they are awake. The message cut abruptly. Eric's face hardened. Yep, very motivational. Aaron asked, how old is that message? Lena analyzed the waveform. Thousands of years. Suri looked at the map. Someone knew the truth long before us, and they died trying to warn others. Jack stared ahead, and we'll honor them by finishing what they couldn't. The storm belt. After clearing the graveyard, the Aegis reached the region known as the storm belt. The bridge lights dimmed as the ship crossed the first shock wave. Boom! The hull vibrated. Aaron grabbed the railing. What was that? Lena's eyes were wide. A gravitational shock wave. Suri nodded. It's the outer edge of the galactic core. Space isn't stable here. The next shock wave hit harder. Boom, boom. Screens flickered. Eric swore loudly. This entire region is trying to crush us. Lena shook her head. Not crush, bend. These waves warp space itself. Jax's voice remained firm. Can the Aegis survive it? Lena hesitated. Yes, but only if we follow the correct route. The Makers left markers, small points in space where gravity twists safely. Suri gasped. That's the data you got from the vault. Yes, Lena said. Without it, we would die instantly. Eric muttered, good thing we grabbed that glowing triangle. The storm intensified. Blue lightning-like arcs fired across the space around them. Suri gritted her teeth. I'm guiding us around the worst waves. Hold on. The Aegis dodged between invisible walls of gravity, engines screaming. Aaron shouted, another wave. Lena yelled back, angle the ship 30 degrees left now. The wave passed so close the hull glowed red. Eric let out a long breath. I hate this place. Jack stared forward. Get used to it, we're not even halfway. A silent follower. Hours passed. The Aegis left the storm belt with minimal damage, but the celebration didn't last. Suri's eyes narrowed at the sensor screen. Commander, we are not alone. Eric instantly grabbed his weapon. What now? Suri zoomed the image. A large silhouette drifted behind them, sometimes visible, sometimes fading. Aaron swallowed. That looks like a harvester ship. Lena scanned it. No, not harvester. Too smooth, too fluid. Jack stood slowly. Display it fully. The holoprojector activated. A strange ship appeared, long, curved, like a thin blade made of black glass. It was beautiful and frightening. Eric whispered, that's not a harvester, that's something else entirely. Lena pointed at the underside. There, look. A symbol glowed faintly, the same symbol from the vault, but twisted, distorted, almost corrupted. Suri stared at the screen. Oh no, Aaron's voice cracked. That ship, it belongs to the builders. The room fell silent. Jax's jaw tightened. How long has it been following us? Suri checked. Since we entered the storm belt, maybe longer. Eric scowled. And it didn't attack. Lena bit her lip. Maybe it's observing us, studying us. Aaron added softly, maybe it's deciding whether we're worth killing. Jack stepped forward. They want to see what we do with the Maker knowledge. Suri nodded. Yes, they're waiting, watching. Eric cracked his knuckles. Let them watch. When this ends, they'll wish they never found us. The phantom beaconed suddenly. The ship's lights dimmed again. Lena tapped her console rapidly. Another signal coming in. Suri frowned. Source. I don't know, it's coming from everywhere and nowhere. The message began as a whisper. Return, 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 Aaron whispered. That voice, it sounds human. The message grew louder. Return to the edge, you cannot pass, do not go deeper. Eric rolled his eyes. Another ancient warning. How many civilizations tried this? Lena shook her head. No, this message isn't ancient. Jax paused. What do you mean? Lena swallowed. This signal is only 20 hours old. Suri froze. That means Jack's finished. Someone else entered the core before us. Aaron whispered, a survivor. Eric grunted, or bait. Surrey scanned the region again. There is a source far ahead, I can track it. Jax nodded, set course. Aaron placed his hand on Jax's arm. What if it's a trap? Jax answered calmly, everything here is a trap. He looked at his crew. We move forward anyway. The lightless sector, the Aegis, descended deeper into the core. And then the stars vanished again. Surrey said, we're entering a lightless region. No starlight, no radiation, empty void. Eric muttered, I hate these. Lena studied the map. This is called the null sector. Even the harvesters avoid it. Aaron asked, why? Lena took a shaky breath. Because this place wasn't created naturally. Surrey finished quietly. It was built. The lightless region formed perfect geometric walls, invisible until the ship's lights hit them. Rectangles, cubes, massive structures with no openings. Eric whispered, that's not space, that's architecture. Aaron crossed his arms nervously. The makers built this. Lena shook her head, no, something else, something bigger. Surrey suddenly stiffened. Commander, the signal is clearer. Play it, Jax ordered. The whisper returned. Turn back, they are awake, they are coming. Then a new voice overlapped it, metallic, cold, deep. You should not be here. Aaron gasped. That's not a distress call. Lena whispered, it's a warning from the builders. Jack stared into the black void ahead. Prepare for acceleration, we go deeper. Surrey blinked. Commander, are you sure? Eric smirked. He's sure. Jax nodded. We didn't come this far to turn back. The engines roared. The Aegis plunged into the unknown. And the silent builder ship behind them followed. Patient. Watching. Waiting. The Aegis plunged deeper into the null sector, leaving normal space far behind. Here, light itself moved strangely, bending, twisting, stretching. The void was not empty, it was engineered. No stars, no dust, no planets, only colossal geometric structures made of dark matter and invisible metal. Surrey monitored the scanners carefully. This region is more complex than we thought. I'm picking up shapes, structures, but they vanish when I try to map them. Lena's eyes narrowed. That's because the architecture is shifting. The null sector is changing as we move. Eric groaned. You mean the walls move, the whole place is alive? Aaron whispered, no, not alive, intelligent. Jax looked at the map ahead, which updated every second. It's a maze. Surrey nodded slowly. A labyrinth. And we're inside it, Lena added softly. A moving prison, the Aegis drifted carefully between floating blocks the size of mountains. Their surfaces reflected no light but emitted a faint vibration like a heartbeat. Eric pressed his face to the window. These things are huge and we're flying between them like bugs. The blocks shifted around the ship. Surrey gasped. They're moving again, closing in. Jax ordered, Surrey, keep us between the narrow sections. Don't let them crush us. Aaron gripped his seat. Why are they moving toward us? Lena tapped her wrist device. It's because of this. The artifact's energy signature is active again. The maker symbol glowed faintly. Jax frowned. It's calling them. Lena shook her head. No, it's waking them. Suddenly Surrey shouted, Commander, something's behind us. The builder's ship, the black glass blade from earlier, appeared again, gliding silently through the labyrinth. Jax muttered, it's following us closer now. It wants to see where we lead. Eric clenched his rifle. A scout. Aaron frowned, or a judge. The first trial, as the Aegis moved deeper, the labyrinth walls shifted suddenly, forming a massive circular chamber around the ship. Surrey's console turned red. Commander, the exit is closing. Jax yelled, hold the engines. The walls slammed shut. The Aegis was trapped. A deep sound echoed across the chamber like a chorus of metallic whispers, thousands of voices speaking without words. Eric stepped back. What the hell was that? Lena's voice shook. Those walls, they're communicating. The builder ship floated in behind them, silent. Then a beam of white light shot from the chamber's ceiling, scanning the Aegis slowly. Aaron whispered, it's scanning our biology, our weapons, our thoughts. Jax clenched his jaw. What does it want? Surrey swallowed. Judgment. The beam locked onto Lena specifically. She gasped, stumbling backward. The artifact on her wrist glowed brightly. A deep voice, colder than the void, filled the chamber. You hold the Maker's memory. Jax raised his weapon. Who are you? We are the labyrinth. We are the outer mind. We watch all who enter our path. Lena stepped forward despite her fear. You destroyed the planet that held the vault. Why? The voice answered, the Makers are dead. Their memories must not survive. Jax shouted, why? What are you afraid of? A pause, then a chilling reply. The Makers created hope. Hope is chaos. Chaos is danger. Eric snorted. That's exactly why they fear humans. Aaron whispered, so this labyrinth, it's like a guardian, a jail for knowledge. No, Lena said softly. It's a filter. Something decides who gets access to the core and who dies here. The beam focused again. You are not makers. You are not harvesters. Another pause. Prove worth. The chamber doors opened violently, forming 3 separate tunnels branching out in different directions. Each glowed a different color. Surrey froze. It wants us to choose. Jax looked at the tunnels. What happens if we choose wrong? The labyrinth answered coldly, you die. The 3 tunnels, Tunnel 1 glowed red, pulsing like a beating heart. Tunnel 2 glowed blue, flickering like a quiet storm. Tunnel 3 glowed white, cold and silent as ice. The crew gathered. Lena studied them. These tunnels represent tests, 3 tests. Surrey nodded. I think each path examines a different part of us. Eric muttered, courage, wisdom, strength, that kind of old mystical stuff. Lena scanned the energy. Yes, but harsher. Aaron whispered, so which one do we pick? The artifact glowed faintly. Lena closed her eyes. It's pointing toward the blue tunnel. Jax nodded. Then we follow the blue path. Into the storm path. As the Aegis moved into the blue tunnel, space rippled. Electric storms cracked from the walls. Gravity flickered on and off. Time shifts stretched seconds into minutes. Aaron held the railing as the ship shook. This tunnel is insane. Lena's voice trembled. It's testing our ability to adapt to survive chaos. Jax adjusted the ship's stabilizers. Everyone focus. We push through. A massive storm wave approached, a wall of distorted space energy. Surrey shouted, brace. The wave hit. The Aegis spun violently. Eric flew from his seat. Aaron barely caught him. Lena screamed, shields draining fast. Jax gritted his teeth. Hold the ship steady. The storm shifted direction, smashing into them again. Alarms blared, panels cracked. Surrey cried out, we can't take another hit like that. But the artifact pulsed again, stronger this time. The blue storm paused, just for a second. Lena gasped. It's creating small windows of stability. Guide us through the pulses. Jax shouted, Surrey, watch the artifact flashes. Surrey nodded. When it flashes, steer left. The artifact pulsed. Surrey turned sharply. The ship shot through a tiny gap in the storm. Again, Jax commanded. The artifact flashed twice. Surrey dived the ship downward. The storm nearly clipped the hull but missed. Aaron shouted, we're getting close to the end of the tunnel. Eric added, one more wave behind us. The artifact flashed violently. Surrey tilted the ship. The wave smashed past them and disappeared. And then, silence. The Aegis exited the tunnel into a vast open chamber of calm space. Lena sighed in relief. We passed the first test. Aaron collapsed in his seat. Barely. Jax remained alert. What's next? The voice returns. The labyrinth spoke again, voice echoing through every part of the chamber. You show adaptation, you show unity. These are maker qualities. Eric smirked. So we're doing good so far, but the voice continued, but the final test remains. Lena whispered, final. Surrey pointed ahead. Commander, look. The chamber walls peeled away, revealing a massive gateway of pure black light. A shape emerged beyond it, massive, slow-moving, with tendrils made of dark matter. Aaron's voice cracked. That isn't a harvester. Lena whispered, no, that's something worse. Eric stood frozen. The builder, the labyrinth confirmed, the creator of your enemy waits ahead. Jax gripped the command chair, and it knows we're coming. The gateway opened fully. The last words from the labyrinth filled the chamber. Enter the inner vault, claim the Maker's truth, or be erased with the rest. Jax whispered, prepare the ship. The Aegis moved forward, and darkness welcomed them.